Hi, Clayton. Welcome to our session. Um,
Hi.
what,
Hi.
what, hi, what brings you in?
Um, well, this next week is going to be the 1 year anniversary of my brother who committed suicide. Um, and my wife and I came home and we found him in his
Mm,
room.
wow.
And it's been a tough year. It's been a tough year, but I'm guessing because the anniversary,
Mm,
it's just so much is coming up, like boiling up, you know, things that and stuff that we've kept it on the down low.
mhm.
It just seems like it's all coming up to the surface, and it's kind of hard to keep it down.
Well, first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss. And year anniversaries are usually very difficult, especially being so close within your family. And I want you to tell me a little bit more of your story of what happened.
Well, the truth is, we really don't know what happened. Um, the police told us that it was an overdose.
Mm,
But outside of that, I mean, my brother didn't use drugs. I don't know how it could be an overdose. They said that due to, I guess, to the amount that he had taken, it was on purpose.
mm,
Um, but I don't recall my brother ever, you know, letting off. I don't know how you say it. Never thought that there was something wrong. I guess is what I'm saying.
mhm,
It just happened out of the blue, and it's rough on everybody. I have no clue why he did it.
mhm,
uh, and nobody else seems to have any idea. It's just something that just happened,
mhm,
and I guess we've just never really had any real closure with it
mm,
because we don't know why. There was never like a note or
mhm,
a smoking gun or anything
mhm,
in the room telling us why he may have done it. And I guess that's one of the things that I spent a lot of time thinking about.
mhm. How did you deal with this during the time? How did you process it?
My family was a big support. My wife was always
Mhm,
there with me. Um, I mean, she was with me when we found him.
mm,
We found him together.
mhm,
So it affected her too. Um, but she's the tough one in the family.
mm,
Um, and I know she thinks about it. And every once in a while, we might talk about, you know, the past and how he was and stuff like that. But there's still no answer. And I guess for me, that's one of the biggest parts. I mean, obviously the loss alone, I mean, it kills me. I get so angry
mm.
when I stop and think about, what he did. I just get angry.
Tell me about this anger.
I get pissed off. There's
Mm,
no other way for me to say it.
mm,
I'm like, all I can think about is why, you
mm,
know, what was so bad that you can handle it or come to one of us and talk to us,
mhm,
you and then I start feeling guilty afterwards because it's
mm,
not something he did to me, did to
mhm,
us,
mhm,
he did it to himself. So it's
mm,
like I'm caught. At first it's like the anger comes up and boils up. And then
mhm,
after a few minutes and after I think about it, and it's like, then I start feeling guilty
mm,
because, why am I angry with him? And
mhm, mhm. These feelings are all normal. Your family, yourself, you have gone through such a difficult loss. And with suicide, it's a situation where there is no closure. You're here sitting, thinking and wondering why. And so I don't think you're necessarily ever going to find the answer, but what we can work on is on what you're feeling, what you're going through and deal with why you're feeling guilty about this, and find ways of how for you to process this, because grief is normal and it's probably always going to be there, especially someone so close to you, and it's definitely going to be more manifested as the year comes around. And so I wanted to ask you, how did you cope with this at the time? What made you um, deal with it as you were going through it?
I guess just having my wife with me, made the difference. And of course our children are in the house, so
Mhm.
we have to put up some kind of front for them. And I guess at least for myself, I can't obviously speak for my wife right now, but for myself, I think I spend a lot of time trying to keep it down and suppress it.
Mm.
And I try not to think about it as soon as something comes up in my mind, because it happens a lot when I'm like not busy, when I have like an idle moment. That's when it'll come to me, and then I start getting angry, remembering it, and
Mhm.
then I
Mhm.
immediately try to find something else to do, pick up a book, go talk to my wife, or see the kids, watch television, do
Mhm.
something,
Mhm.
to keep me, so that I don't have to, that'll take my thoughts away from it. You know what I mean?
Yes. And your coping mechanisms are all perfectly valid. They make you, deal with the situation at the moment, at the time. And that's absolutely valid. And, you did what you had to do to be strong for your wife and for your children. Yet I would like for us to really work through, you know, what you really feel and what it really meant for you, so that we can start processing it, so that you can find a healthy way for you to, start seeing this event from, a perspective where you don't necessarily feel the guilt, or that you don't necessarily feel the anger. That's okay for you to have those feelings, but to understand why is it happening? And so, what I would like us to do, because we're running out of time, is for you to think about, now that it's coming around and the feelings are coming up, what is the one thing we can do to remember your brothers? There's some people that like to do something that they like to do with their loved one before they passed away, an enjoyable meal, a walk. Some people like to do a remembrance, just sit with loved ones that knew him, that were close to him, and talk about him. So, but this is about you. I want you to think about one thing you can do that you can feel safe, and that you can include your wife or someone that is your support system, where you can remember the good times that you had with them. It could be something as simple as you writing a letter or writing your thoughts.
My brother, he was a bit of an artist.
Mm.
He liked sketching, and one of the things that he really liked to do is we would go out and sit on the road alongside the military base
Mm.
and watch the jets,
Mm.
take off and land, and he would sit there and sketch them, and he was really good.
So do you think that would be something you could possibly do by yourself or with someone, and maybe go visit? Um,
Haven't done, he was the drawer. I never did it by myself, but
but
I suppose I could take a trip, and I
you
guess.
don't have to draw. You can just go take the drive and remember the good times, and remember him for who he was and what he meant to you. And this will bring healing to you and hope of who he really was, because we don't want to define him by the event. We want you to remember him for what he meant to you. And so I don't want to be abrupt, but we're running out of time. And I would like you to think of that. It doesn't have to be that specific activity, but I want you to think something that's meaningful to you, where you can remember him. And we will meet up next time and continue to discuss this, because I think it's so important, and you are so strong and you have survived, and you will continue. We will continue to work on this and find ways to deal with the issues that are bothering you.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good job. Very nice. Nicely done. Much better than me.
No, different.
Different. Yes. Yes. You did a great job though. I mean, you listened and you pointed me in directions, that would help me. So that was really, that was really good. Whereas, I mean, you were like specific, where I was trying to do it, but I was too general. I don't think I was being specific enough, where you were actually being specific. Do A, B, and C or something, do one of those. And so I think that was really helpful, is actually like giving options, asking me what it is I can do, you know, and stuff like that. I think that was really helpful, because when I'm thinking about that, I mean, when I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about, that's what I need, is someone to help me see outside the box, so to speak, right? And that's what you helped me do. You really like led me, and you led the session, like right through to the end, where it's like, okay, we can do this, and then we can discuss it in the next session. And I thought that was great. I think you hit all the points.
I appreciate it. Any area of improvement?
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. You really did a good job.
Thank you.
I mean, I think you gave me time to speak, and I'm thinking, because I'm thinking, like I said before, I'm thinking, I felt like I was speaking too much. So I was kind of like, letting you take the lead there. And I think you did a great job, knowing when to like break in and when not, when to let me just sit for a second. That was really good. Like, I know when I stopped speaking and then it's silent for a second, but then you didn't just jump all over it. You gave it a second or two, and then you came in, and I thought that was really good. That was great. You had a great time.
Well, I appreciate it.
Anyway,
All right,
okay.
so I'm going to stop the recording.